Well, a hearty special good afternoon to every single one of you who is tuned our way. Thank you so much for waiting and for anticipating what would be the nature of the discussions or the information that would be presented today on today's program. I know you do look forward. I want to send a shout out to our friends in the north, especially there in Gallows Bay. Special good afternoon to all of you who listened, and to the rest of you. Thank you so much for supporting the show. For those of you who are following us on the live stream, thank you too. And just for those who don't know how to get to the live stream, in case you would like to share or make reference to it, you can go to tvcarib.com. And when you get to your Google browser, when the page opens, you press on Listen Live and you're able to see the faces behind the conversation. All right, with that said, Dr. Jullain Rollocks is spending the hour with me today, and I'm happy to have him because, of course, he wants to share some important information with the general public and also to celebrate his milestone achievement of becoming, at least seeing the title of DR in front of his name, which I think is an important milestone to the good gentleman who have labored all his life in so many different things and probably suited to be titled doctor because of, in any case, good afternoon to you, Dr. Rollocks. How are you today?
Good afternoon to the general public. I'm doing pretty good. As you know, as the general public know, I had a stroke a number of years ago, and recovery is going well. I swim 3 times a week. I walk twice a week. I go to the gym once a week. And I started something new, an old therapy. On Saturdays, I would go to the beach and I would have somebody dig a hole close to the water, lay down in that hole, length of my body, and cover my leg with sand. Recovery is not easy. Recovery is not fast. But as a joke, I always tell people, I'll take every inch. Every inch of recovery. I want to start by sending my condolences to Billy T. He lost his father.
Yes, I heard of that.
Billy T's father was a great man. I knew him. I knew Billy T. They were very close. Billy, strength to you, and may God cover his soul, and may he rest in peace. St.Maarten has been very busy. St.Maarten has been very busy. The latest that happened actually is the motion of non-confidence against Minister Brugge. And I kind of share the opinion with Shamira. Why do I share the opinion with her? I want to commend her in the first place because standing up against the majority is always difficult. There are many ways to skin a cat. Okay? A motion of no confidence ain't nothing to play with. It's something extremely serious. And I believe the good Prime Minister could have tried, and probably he did, I don't know. When you have these kind of issues, you try to solve them in-house, okay, as much as possible. You do that long before you resort to a motion. I noticed that there's a different relationship between the board of the party, the government of the party, the COM. The board of the party have absolutely no governmental power. The board of the party remains the board of the party. The board of the party can give directives in their closed door meeting to their members, to their prime minister, but you cannot give directives directly to the government. There's so much to talk about that you don't even know where to start. Um, we have to try our best. But let me start first with the acquiring of my doctorate. The acquiring of my doctorate was a dream I had for a long time, but I never had time. Now in my recovery of the stroke, I have more time on my hands. I did what I had to do. It is not easy, okay? As you notice, his doctorate was conferred by the European International University in Paris, a renowned university. No Mickey Mouse situation. European universities in general are integral. They don't do favors, and you gotta work hard. You gotta deserve what you get. Why did I do it? For two reasons. It's an objective I had, and it elevates your educational level. I would encourage anyone who qualifies, because you got to do a bachelor's, you got to do your master's, and then you could go and do your doctorate. I did my master. I did two masters, one in biology, one in chemistry. I taught at the St. Peter's College for a number of years, and as I said, it is not easy, and I'm humbled and I'm thankful to the Creator that He gave me the intelligence to be able to do that with distinction. They had a wonderful article written in the
Daily
Herald of January 14th. It only helps me to continue to give more contribution to this country that I love. I will continue to work, I will continue to read, and reaching the age of 70 took a lot of prayer. I might laugh now, but when you're 68 and when you're 69,
It's a different feeling.
You ask God, you go to God, you and Him, you and your Creator. Got to go on a tete-a-tete, one-on-one. And you got to get humble, drop on your knees, and beg to become 70, 70. The good book promised us that. I mean, you're a Christian man.
No, but if it's promised, why are you begging? Why you use the terminology that you beg him to reach 70?
I didn't ask. Look, when you go to the Creator, there are times you have to beg. I remember when I won that election in 1995, the night before the election, I went out, me and my group was having a meeting, and I went out by the fence just there in the road, and I'd look up in the sky, and I literally begged God, give me a break. Come on, give me a break, man. I worked hard for this. Help me out. I won that election by 3 votes, if you remember. I won that seat.
You think it was as a result of you begging?
Sorry?
That was as a result of you?
I would say so, because it could have been the other way too.
Yeah, okay.
I remember there was historically a person in the station that lost an election by 1 vote. His wife was in Holland. And she said, you're going to be all right, man. Don't take it for granted, boy. So those 3 votes, I don't take them for granted. And I don't believe the Creator make it happen. I know the Creator made it happen. The same thing like my recovery right now. I know where I was, and I know where I am. So, and besides that, I wanted to get my doctorate as a piece of legacy. Okay, as a matter of fact, I'm building a monument right now for those that come after me. I have 2 grandsons, and they're doing excellent in school, and I keep encouraging them to keep pushing, and I want the doctorate to be one of their objectives.
Extreme goal, yes.
Yeah, my grandfather became a doctor. I too want to become one. It's a piece of legacy. I'll leave it to you now.
So for those persons,
I yield to you now.
yeah, for one, I just want to be able to fit everyone in the equation. I know it's a milestone and a personal achievement of yours, but for someone who may not have reached to that stage, yet they have space in this world as well to make their contribution, right? Even though they have not reached to that achievement.
Somebody got to sweep the floor, Wendell. Somebody got to clean the toilet. And whatever you do, because remember well, 1983 when I came here and I used to wash down car. I used to wash cars for a living because I couldn't get a job. But what I did well.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I did in my life, and it's quite a few things, I tried my best to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
I sold used cars, caused the banks to change their entire policy because the banks had noticed, wait a minute, we ain't selling no used cars, And I started with the concept of no money down. The name of the company was Mr. No Money Down.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have come in by me with your license, get your insurance, and drive a good car without a cent. In 2 years, paid off, then the car is yours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Grocery stores. I had 7 at one when I was in the grocery business. What I'm trying to illustrate with that is you don't have to be a doctorate to be nothing, but be good at what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I know this good gentleman, I don't know his name exactly, but everybody knows him. He washes cars. He built his house out of washing cars. Those are men that you respect because they become good at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to you don't have to have DR in front of your name. No.
Yeah. I said that in order
You understand me?
to bring everyone in the mix. But at the same time, you're saying to persons who are working on they're still going to school and the education, that they shouldn't just limit themselves to a master's and end there, but you can go to the highest achievement, the highest level. There will be room, I'm sure, for anyone who may go to that extreme, but the reality on St.Maarten too has a lot to do with when you have certain level of education. It's kind of difficult to be able to even find a job or maybe work for somebody or start your own business.
Wendell, St.Maarten has changed a lot. It is not an easy environment. I've never really been, but we have never been this complicated that we are right now. But what I say is adapt. Human beings were created to be adaptable species. If outside cold, what do we do? If outside hot, what do? We adapt. You don't put on a winter coat and go out in the hot sun. No. And it's easy to give up. That's the easy road. During my therapy, I was telling my therapist, let's say for instance we are walking a road, and that road here is difficult, and this road here is easy. I always choose the hard road. I tell them, stand next to me that I don't fall, but I can try this hard road. Because again, you gotta adapt to the. You gotta adapt what God threw at you. You know, and is it easy? Did it come without tears? No, it came with a lot of tears. Blood, sweat, and tears, my good friend. And right now, there are a lot of people on this island going through blood, sweat, and tears just to survive. When I sit down in front of a meal, I give thanks and I ask God to help those that can't help themselves. Because while I'm eating, there are those that ain't got nothing to eat. The problem we're having in St.Maarten right now, the major problem we're having in St.Maarten is that the rich is getting richer and the poor is becoming miserable. And that's something I would tell government you need to pay keen attention to, because poverty don't bring nothing good. A country that creating poor people is not good. We are creating poor people. We are creating poverty. And just opening a soup kitchen helps, but you cannot. When I went to when I worked at the airport in 1972, I worked there. I finished school at 15. Mr. Sam Hazel, God bless his soul, get me the job up in the tower. I worked there as an assistant controller, together with Elton Jones, Marcel Gomes, Mr. Van Hannigan, Jan Brown. We worked up there, and the only person not from here was Mr. Van Spanier, who was the manager. He passed, Mr. Arnell took over. When I speak to people working at the airport, apparently you hardly find local people up there now. Yeah. There's a young lady on there fighting for a certain position. Give her a break, for God's sake. Give her a break. After all, this is our country. I was born here. My neighbor Stringberry up in my region, up at Samuel House. Where am I going to go? You know? And to reach where I am today was a serious battle. Very hard. But you got to have persistence. So I want to talk to those people, St.Maarteners, especially our Barnhirs. Wherever you are, I know you're not having it easy. Okay? You can't put an advertisement out there for everybody. You can't do it for the world. When are we going to get a little digging? Let's go to St. Kitts. From St. Kitts right down to Barbados. Who ruling those countries, those islands? Bajans, Kittitians, Dominicans, Antiguans. But by us, suddenly St.Maarten has become too good for us. When St.Maarten was scratching the surface, and you've been here a long time, Wendell, we were scratching the surface. All we had was the pond, some salt, and a few donkeys. Today, it's a metropolitan. You could find the richest, you could find the poorest. We are an island with 15 casinos. You heard what I said? Nowhere else in the Caribbean you'd find that.
That many.
That many, no.
And usually when you talk casinos, you're talking about the super wealthy persons.
Naturally, it's super wealthy people that own these places. I don't find they contribute enough to the society. We have schools that have a lot of problems. We have school children that have a lot of problems. And these casinos could contribute without it molesting the bottom line. Um, we have a situation, and government gotta address that the casinos cannot bank their monies, if I'm correct. It isn't for nothing that we have so many casinos and we have more coming. Okay? It isn't for nothing. They have their reasons. And their reasons could be anything. Could be the very good and it could be the very bad. You don't know because you don't know how much money they're making. You don't know.
Now that you say that, isn't it right though that the public should know why casinos cannot, if that is indeed true,
Well,
bank their money?
some days ago, I heard the minister said, make that expression that casinos cannot bank their money.
Because he didn't say why.
I would like a broader explanation to the public.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
It deems necessary that should be public knowledge why it's that way.
Yes, that's one. And two, how do they, how do they pay their taxes on their profits?
Exactly. Yeah.
How do they pay their taxes on their employees? How do they pay their taxes, period? Because you cannot be squeezing small people, because the average working person is having it hard, and these guys are getting away with crime.
Yeah. You know something, Mr. Rollocks? Now that you point that out, I think it's important to notice as well that we're having some budgetary constraints and problems. I heard an article on this radio station with the safety, and it was mentioned that part of the problem why we always late with our budget has to do with maybe the different ministries not having their figures ready in order for the minister to probably put the whole budget together. But it's not just simply that. It's because we have issues with income to the point where they are continually having to trim, and that don't, because they have a standard amount of their expenses.
That shouldn't be. When me and you have absolutely no idea the amount of money these casinos generate in this island.
Oh, sure, they do.
Massive amounts of money. I was speaking to a gentleman that a retired casino man. He said, "Relax, we make a lot of money." Now, they're making money. I have no problems with that. We do everybody in business to make money. But at the same time, government got to look at legislation. How can we make these people pay their share?
Mm-hmm.
They got to pay their fair share. How can we make these people make a contribution to the poor? How we could make them make a contribution to the schools, adapt a school.
Mm-hmm.
It's a joke for them to adapt a school.
Let's throw out to the poor, but at least the institutions like schools,
right,
and those other areas, the infrastructure,
right,
and those part as well. Those can stand with structural support. But the problem also that no one is talking about with these casinos are they are often delinquent to government themselves. And a lot is tied to pledges of support for campaign, which always give them an advantage for them to, don't forget I have, No, you have an obligation to the community in which you're making money too.
Let me put it this way. Again, I'm going to go back when I was Commissioner of Economic Affairs. I remember being in the Commissioner of Economic Affairs, and I walked in a casino, and practically everybody in there spoke. Another language but English. So I went to the owner and I said, this can't work. You cannot be hiring everybody else and who's from here at the door begging or at the door pleading for the job. And that's the situation we have today. Again, at that time, the good gentleman cooperated with me and hired all local people. But today, when we go into the casinos, we go into the stores, you ask yourself, what country we in? we, this is in St.Maarten. So we have nothing against foreign labor. Absolutely nothing. Foreign labor help develop this country. But it shouldn't be at the cost of the local people. It shouldn't be. See? Let's go. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying the issue of not having a structural amount of income doesn't make it easy for the government to even entertain the idea of the ministries then making it easy for them to just put those figures together, which is their standard expenses. Additional expenses can only come if provision is there for additional income,
correct.
so that you can entertain something different. But they are forever cutting back, and that's part of the reasons. Because they're looking first at their income to be able to determine what kind of budget we're going to have at the end. It must be realistic.
I totally agree with you, but it cannot be that we have 15 casinos and they owe us millions.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that money is out there. And I'm not bashing government, I'm not beating government. I am illustrating the facts that we got to go after these monies. It's our money. It's the people's money. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And they're entitled to it. You know?
These are all political decisions, though.
Sorry?
Government and people involved in politics. These are all political decisions. Would you advise people to take on the career of wanting to, without probably having studied maybe government administration or public administration or political science, because those are things that prepare you for these difficult things that we're talking about. But the people who are getting involved in politics have never studied any of those.
No, but you don't have to be an expert to know that if you owe me, you got to pay me.
Yeah, but at the same time, if I owe you and I pay you and I do you a favor, I can tell you, hold on, man.
No. When I was
if I do you a favor, I washing your car, you don't pay me. And for washing your car, I tell you, okay, that's okay, man. Hold on a second. Bear with me a little bit.
I bear with you with like the average taxpayer would do. Make an arrangement. Pay me a little something today. Pay me a little something tomorrow. But pay. Don't just suck the blood out of the country. Don't do that. Don't do that. I could never agree with the fact that the blood is being sucked out of this island.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it just seems that our people in government. Now, it's very important to make this remark. None of us are perfect. Let's start with that. All of us have faults. Okay? But we grew up in a society where right and wrong have been implemented upon us. If I owe and you collect me, and the other guy owe and you don't collect him, that's wrong. Something wrong there. So, to finalize that particular issue, government got to create legislation with the central bank. I am not a legislator. I didn't study law. But I'm saying find a way to put it together. Now, while in government, back in the day, I was in government along with Elton Jones and a few others. I was in, yes, it was Elton, myself, um, representing my party, and I wanted to bring in African Americans. Do you remember that? Because I said African Americans spend a lot, they have a lot of spending power, and there was leader of government at that time had wanted to bring a motion of no confidence against me. And if I remember well, I challenged it. I said, make a move. But in the meantime, I had already spoken to Theo Heidegger, who was in opposition along with his group, about the numbers. Somehow, the opposition leader, the government leader, get a whiff that Rollocks was ready. Because I made sure I had the numbers. Why am I bringing this forward? I sympathize with Minister Brugge, ex-Minister Brugge, with what happened to him. But one thing I wanted to caution him, politics is a rough business, boy. Deception, lies, greed, those are things that play major role. I've been deceived at least twice. I suffered a deception in government. Get somebody elected, and when after getting the person elected, the person gone, and get somebody else to work with him instead of my person. I had my taste.
I'm smiling because I get a taste of that.
Sorry?
I'm smiling because I got a taste of it.
You're smiling because?
I got a taste.
Yeah, you got a taste.
Yes.
Okay, good. Politics is not religion. And don't go in there believing it's religion. It's not. Politics is a very rough business. A lot of deception takes place.
Some of the deception shouldn't be deception, but diplomacy. You have to be very diplomatic in what you say because it could mean so many different things.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The deception part is when you take it to being lied to straight up. Sometimes that happens, but you need an element of diplomacy in order to function good as a politician.
You hit the nail on the head because I'm saying to the Prime Minister, this could have been done behind closed doors, at least from outside and looking at the whole development. I think they have this thing, the Americans, that say, we're going to lock this door and we're not leaving this room until we come to a decision. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that was done.
No. They didn't reach there.
No, I don't think that was done. There were different options before the motion of no confidence.
I got to take a break. And I wanted to, I noticed a few people were trying to call, but I certainly wouldn't mind giving them an opportunity to toss in their opinion, provided they keep it short. But I got to take a break first. Joanne, can we take a break? We'll be right back, folks. I'm here with Dr. Jullain Rollocks. We're talking from one thing to the next, but of course all related to what St.Maarten is today. We'll be right back. All right, folks, welcome back to the program here with Dr. Jullain Rollocks. One of the things that we really wanted to spend some time on is that personal achievement. But having reached there, what else are you inspired to give back now? Because you're at the pinnacle at this point where, at the top. Because you see what's going on.
Yes.
You no longer is going to play a part in politics, probably on an advisory role, or if that is possible. What can you give back?
My son worked hard during the last election with Dr. Messalina.
The last election?
The election before that.
Probably, yeah.
My son worked very, very hard. And he got 177 votes. There were several people who got less votes than him, was selected to be in government, and he wasn't. Which is not a nice thing, especially coming from Dr. Messalina, who we thought was carrying the highest standards of moral and the highest standards of ethics. But I told my son, you just got a taste of the game. The game of politics ain't a pretty thing. I've been in it for over 30 years.
Yeah.
And I've been in the opposition, I've been in government, I've been a radical, I've been a person of demonstration. Several demonstrations we did.
But I got to ask you this question, though, cut you off and ask you. So, what do you have to do to prepare yourself to maneuver in those kind of
one of the
avenues?
things that I miss is an input from the old school. Okay, I really and sincerely believe that people like Rene Richardson, alive, well, and sharp. Rene is a very sharp guy. Should be on a back seat somewhere as an advisor. I really believe that the COM should use us in an advisory role.
But that's not left up to the individual politicians who get the number of votes, and they don't seem to be interested in having people advise them. They know it all.
And that's a pity because we, the old timers, are sitting on a lot of knowledge, a lot of good experiences, a lot of bad experiences, but we are sitting on a lot of knowledge. And that knowledge shouldn't just go to the grave. That knowledge should be used.
But times have changed too. So, is the politics different now than it used to?
Well, obviously, there is a different generation. Okay? And don't believe because you got a position that you know it all. You don't know it all. You never will know it all. But it is smart to have someone in the
people
background.
around you.
Some people, some maybe not even on the scene, but behind closed doors, where you could say, "Hey,
I'm going to take this decision. What do you say?"
what do you think? And you don't have to go with the decision, but at least you know of the decision.
Yeah.
A guy like Leroy the Weaver. I mean, these are people that have been in the game for over 40 years. And I think they should know something. Okay. I've been in the game over 40 years myself. Rene Richardson has been in the game over 40 years. And these are men of wisdom. They're not out there seeking popularity anymore.
But that seemed to be the premise on which the modern day politician stands, because the popularity comes by numbers. If you have a lot of people voting for you, you know that you're popular, and that is all you need. So it seems that is all you need in order for you to be able to acquire certain office of power. Sometimes not even the one that you are elected to sit in, which is the parliament, but other seats of power, because you have the numbers. And that is...
Let me put it this way. The Brugge experience teaches us a principle of politics. Getting in is one thing. Staying in is something else. Staying in is a trigger. Getting in is easy. Staying in. See? And
no, but if you stay in parliament,
staying in government, or staying in power, or staying in parliament, takes a certain amount of maneuvering, a certain amount of know-how, a certain amount of intuition, a certain amount of work. And besides that, most important, control your greed. Control your greed. To date, this year, 2026, we have more young politicians in jail or line up to go jail because of not controlling your greed. Greed is something that was put in man to control. You got to control your greed. It's only so much, because one thing is certain: you come with nothing, and you shall go with nothing.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned about getting in and staying in, but I want to separate the distinction of getting in and staying in when it comes to the legislative and the power, the executive branch. When you are elected in, you're there for a duration of 4
That's correct.
4 years.
That's correct.
But that's in the legislature, of which most people give up to take on positions in the Council of Ministers, where the power bracket really is, and where all kind of offers can be made. Staying in there, however, is at the mercy of whatever it is, because if there's a break in government, you're gone.
That's where politics come in. Mm-hmm. You know, when I had asked Theo to join me in case a motion of no confidence came against me, Theo was in opposition, I was in government. Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to say is, you got to keep your relationships good. Mm. You got to keep your relationships good. You got to stay tight with those in power, mm-hmm, and those in opposition. Because when the moment comes, you say, hey, you there with me? Yes or no? I'm there with you. Because you kept the relationship smooth. Mm-hmm. You kept it nice. You see? Because you can't operate out there on your own. Mm-hmm. You can't, you know.
Certain things happen when it comes to things that affect persons in the political realm. Being blunt and maybe straightforward, because you yourself may not think that you can make a mistake too. But if you make a mistake, I put it in writing that you did something wrong. That's being blunt, because you put pen to paper.
Yes.
If you're diplomatic, it means you have to have discussion. That's where it comes from, to be able to save the relationship. And these are things that are not happening.
There's something that comes before that. And again, I must give credit to my good friend Leroy DeWeaver, who introduced me to a lot of different books, from Machiavelli to The Art of War. You got to read. You must read up on the art of war, the art of politics. Mm. They have a book, the 48 Laws of Power, by Green. You gotta read up. You can't go in there blind. There's certain rules in the game that have been there before Christ came to this world, and they're up to today. Those rules, you have to maintain them, but you have to know them. Where you can find them, you got to go in the books, mm-hmm, to read. But outside of that, your personality is very important. Mm-hmm. Okay? Are you an approachable person, or are you a not approachable person? Are you a person open for knowledge? I'm going to say it again. Are you a person open to knowledge? Are you a person open to good old advice? But if you're not, sooner or later you'll pay the price. Mm-hmm. Sooner or later.
Yeah.
See? And keeping relationships, mm-hmm, open is important.
Yeah.
Having the opposition's phone number is important. Look, these people coming down on me. I need your help. That's the way it go. Mm. You know, and not only here, all over the world.
Yeah, but where you see us going from your doctorate perspective, you've been there, you've done that all, and you've reached the very highest level. What are your perspective as to where we are heading this at this stage? Are we in a position of strength?
No. What I'm seeing right now is going to take a lot of work to keep this coalition together.
Not just this coalition, but I'm talking about future, based on
That's what I'm
how
talking
we are
about.
doing things now.
We gotta reshuffle our priorities. This government have been there 2 years, and the state of the island is horrible. Infrastructure, old cars all over the place. The GB saga has taken place. There's not an area that you could say this is going good. Okay, but important is to focus. You know what? Right now we're going to focus on cleaning up the island. We are a tourist island. We had a tremendous season. A lot of people came to this country between Carnival and between December and Carnival. We can't be advertising what we're advertising now. No. That's one. Two, let's keep an eye on the other islands. A lot of islands in the Caribbean are moving, and they're moving fast.
Yeah.
And they're looking at us.
And learning from us.
And they're learning from our mistakes.
Yeah. And avoiding our mistakes.
And moving. Let us not think that we're the best. No. Don't go and infatuate yourself with all kind of nonsense. Look at the reality of things. And based on the reality, give our local people a break. Let's clean up the island. Let us focus on the future of St.Maarten. Because right now, we are not in a good place.
I wish I had more time because only now I'm getting warm. But I just want to say there's an important element as well that we need to throw a lot of focus on because we seem to be hurting ourselves more than we are helping ourselves to move forward. And that what I'm talking about here is more dialogue if it means that we have to lock it down till we can come to an agreement, because it must be about what's good for this country moving forward and not personal, what's good for you personally and for your own personal popularity.
Got to be the people.
Because
people, and that's not the
here
case.
is where I'm seeing the big problem.
I totally agree with you. Number one, got to be the people of this country. Is this good for them? I used to have what I call Holy Wednesday, where the average person could have come and see me. Today, you're afraid to go in the government building. We are not treated well. We are scorned. We are not treated well as a people. And government got to sit down and don't just shrug your shoulders at it. That's just Rollocks. That's just Jullain. This. No. Wendell doesn't know it all. Rollocks doesn't know it all. But out of all what he's saying, something got to be making sense, because I know crazy man. Okay?
Yeah.
Wendell, you know, crazy man. You know, so number one right now is listen. Listen as much as possible, and reach out to the people that voted for you. Reach out for the people that are out there catching it. Reach out to the people that need, not want, need your assistance. We have sick people. We have all kinds of situations that need attention.
What about our seniors? Lord, we can't even talk about even those.
If we talk about seniors, we could spend the rest of the day.
Yeah.
They need help.
I got to leave it there, but I want to leave it with a caveat as well, that the dialogue or the ways and means of us working together got to be of priority, because our system is that way.
Yeah.
You can't have a functioning thing unless you have a majority. It means people have to learn to work together. And working together also means that in some areas you have to compromise.
You always have to compromise.
And if we're not taking those routes, we're not helping ourselves, Mr. Rollocks. I want to thank you for your time.
Cutting ourselves in
continued success. Hopefully you'll get more requests for brief consultation as to the way forward for those who can use it, because, yeah, working hard is just one way, but...
we are not the smartest people on the island.
Yeah.
And then I say we, you, myself. But out of all of what we're saying, there's something that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's what we're asking government, use that.
Okay. That's the final word for today. Dr. Jullain Rollocks, thank you so much. All right, folks, got to leave it there. We'll be back tomorrow, God's willing. An invitation for you to join us then. In the meantime, over to the newsroom we go. We are way past time.